Good afternoon. Welcome to the February 2024 Executive Committee of the BERS of the Board of Education Retirement System. Today is Thursday, February 29th, 2024, and the time is 12:29. Please be reminded that the committee meetings are being recorded and will be posted to the BERS YouTube channel. I will now begin by calling the roll. John Matarich.
Frank Sorbella in for John Maverick.
Thank you, Frank. Donald Nesbitt, I think he's here.
You're here.
Greg Faulkner. Present. Anthony Giordano. I think somebody said he's on his way. Karina Pollen.
Sarita Scott and for Kareem.
Okay, thank you. We have a quorum. I would also like to note for the record that alternates, any alternates?
Maisha Sapp is here.
Maisha Sapp is here. Also, we have John Dorsa sitting in for New York City Controller. Well, in attendance here.
Yeah. Observer.
Yes. Now to the agenda. We're going to consider the agenda minutes from January 2024 Executive Committee meeting, summary of which have been included in your packets. May I get a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
So moved, Greg Faulkner. Do we have a second? Second by Frank. Any discussion? Any discussion? Here, no discussion. All those in favor, please say yay.
Yep. Yay.
Yay. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. We have several agenda items for today's agenda. There are no contracts-oriented items. However, there are some agenda items. So we will skip to agenda item 3 with a few updates from Salil. Salil?
Can people see my screen?
There you go.
Yep.
Okay. We're practicing screen sharing and everything today. Our fiscal year to date and one-year performance, as you can see here on the charts, they through January 2024 reveal that we've had 8% annual return over the last 1 year, and the fiscal year to date, if you annualize that, that's also roughly 8%. It's driven in very large part by very high performance across public equities, and we've seen some sluggishness continue across private markets. Still, 8% is above the target, and we'll note that the larger global public market exposed benchmarks show 1-year returns that continue to outperform higher and in the direction that we typically see across other public pension fund benchmarks. Given the rolling return and losses from the previous years in the valuation and current net contributions, we still expect the funding ratio to have stayed modestly unchanged for BERS over the fiscal year to date. We'll note, of course, that we have roughly a 15 percentage point spread versus other plans in our funding ratio, but that has narrowed roughly 5 percentage points over the last several years. I show here on the bottom asset class weights and some of those return numbers. It speaks a little bit to what Tony had mentioned. So when he arrives to the meeting, we can,
Tony's here.
go on. But okay, hi Tony. The one difference is that these numbers that you're showing, that we're showing here, they are through January. So we're able to synthesize information from State Street, some of our internal analysis, and our investment book of records. And we're seeing a bit of a flip-flop in our performance versus the reference benchmarks, which is about 3 percentage points underperformance, which is a mirror image of what the 1-year numbers would have looked like a year ago. Now, in terms of pacing in private markets, that's something we're going to continue to monitor as throughout the year. There's two asset classes worth noting for today's meeting. The first, we're going to start here with private equity. We have a commitment target, which we've discussed and agreed to in December, of 120 million. This is just a chart to visualize. 120 million. And as some context, going into the December meeting, we had 37 million projected to be approved, but not yet executed, which kind of rolls into this year. But nonetheless, 120 million. We have an initial pipeline of 148, which is obviously higher than the 120 and is actually closer to, if you use the 7% growth, which we decided not to do instead of the 5%. So, Akshay will speak to this later in the executive session about how to slim down the pipeline so it comes closer to what we've agreed to. In today's meeting, we are going to discuss 25 million. So you can see that here in silver color of investments in private equity. So that would account for 21% of the annual target. And we're only 16% through the year time-wise. In opportunistic fixed income, just want to show that as well because we'll be discussing that. It's worth noting there is our initial investments this month for the calendar year 2024. We discussed and agreed to a 300 million target for this year. We currently have a known pipeline with dollar amounts with the investments of 128, which we're going to discuss today. That would amount to over 45% of the annual target. We also have a bit of this carryover from last year, 40 million. The last thing I wanted to talk about briefly was, I'm going to stop screen sharing that, is just give a quick introduction to the investment department. This was asked by Donald and some of the trustees. So folks have seen me regularly in these meetings. My time over the last couple of years, I've used my professional training to do quantitative analysis, creating and promoting liability risk modeling, drafting major RFPs, managing parts of the Chancellor's investment plan, distributing resources. Sometimes I talk hours long at times, including last night, with individual trustees about pension, portfolio, actuarial matters. And I also assist Sandy with investment strategic planning. I'll have Kristen, who's there in the room, highlight each of the other team members as well as their backgrounds, either quantitatively, by side, so forth. Also note that the rest of the department, they do an excellent job in assembling the due diligence package that you receive, as well as perform a great deal of the behind the scenes paperwork assembly, interagency communications, they're working on the SOPM, diversity metrics, vendor technology templates, things along those lines. And then one last thing before that is, this is another important aside that I've had conversations with the consultants and others, and it's just something I wanted to reiterate that all of us meet monthly, the investment department, with our general consultant Siegel for public market investments. Separately, we meet with our specialist Axia for private market investments. And again, we meet on occasion with both Siegel as well as BAM's Chief Investment Officer, Steve Mayer, on occasion as a collection. Those meetings further allow us to be a communication conduit. We're able to relay trustee sentiment, investment recommendations, portfolio construction views, and try to synthesize these ideas. I think we're better for having that, for the BERS pensioners, having those communications and assembly of viewpoints. I'll now let Kristen talk more about the team and then we'll, that's what we have for the month.
Yeah, thank you, Salil. My name is Kristen Burnett. I've been with BERS. This is going on my 8th year. And I'm here with my team members. Keyshawn Kristoff, she's not currently sitting there, but she is a fellow senior analyst. I have Bertram Barnes, an analyst with the team. Donay Blackburn, another analyst, and Michelle Muhammad, another analyst. And to speak a little bit more on myself, as I said, I've been here 8 years. A little more than half of that time has been with the investment team. But I've also had a thorough look through on our operations side as well. So I pretty much have like a complete perspective of the pension system. Currently, my work on the investment team is mostly related to operations work, which really helps with the procurement of a lot of our systems, but also some searches that we've conducted or searches that we've attempted to put forth with varying results. But nonetheless, we've put our best foot forward. So there's been a lot that we've tried to do, and we hope to keep doing for the future.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Kristen, you were going to talk about the other members?
Oh, the other. Well, did you want them to speak?
No, I think you covered it. That's all we have, Donald. I'll rejoin the meeting soon. But yes.
Speak it.
Okay, thank you, Salil. Thank you, Kristen. Any questions from committee members? Any questions? Okay, so next item on the agenda is we have to go into executive session. Do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved.
Motion by Tony. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Greg. Any discussion on this? Into executive session, please indicate with a yay.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Let's move into executive session.
Oh, well,
The recording has resumed.
No. Sorry. In executive session, we had 2 investment discussions covering the public markets and 1 covering the private markets. Additionally, the board approved a commitment to a private equity fund as well to approve a R5 fund. This was the last item on the agenda for today's executive committee meeting. The next scheduled executive committee meeting for the Board of Retirement System is Thursday, March 28th at 1 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? So should we gotta take a hundred this one?
For 2 more hours.
Do we have a second?
Second. Full board now. We're the full board meeting now.
No. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, please indicate.
Only for the masses. You can stay.
Aye.
Aye.
You can stay.
Thank you. We are adjourned until next month's meeting. Thank you all.